Hey everyone, and welcome back to week 6 of the Pokeball Draft League. This week we are going up against Stoob, who made a couple changes to his team over the last couple of weeks since free agency, everything opened up. I wanted to try out something newish again. I wanted to bring back Torkoal Scoville and see how it worked. Hydreigon for a little bit of flexibility. Hatterene Rabsca just because I had a feeling King Gambit was going to do a lot of work because of all of his ghost and psychic types, which is why we brought it. We did a team builder. You can go check that out on our channel if you're interested in that to kind of go over our decision making for this. So I was worried about Indeedee with Expanding Force on Slowbro. I knew Indeedee Alakazam during the Sword and Shield days was an issue. So that's kind of something I was keeping in mind. I didn't check beforehand if Slowbro actually got Expanding Force. Would have been pretty helpful if I had. But that's what I was worried about. And kind of why I brought both Hydreigon and King Gambit. I wanted to bring Brute Bonnet too. I just didn't think it was going to do enough work. I didn't want to be 4 times weak to Bug with the low kicks running around. But that's why I started off Hydreigon, King Gambit, see if he led with anything weak to Dark. Of course, he didn't. I think all 4 of his other Pokemon are weak to Dark, and he leads with the 2 that aren't. So I hadn't fought a Tough Tusk before, so this is going to be a new experience. But I did bring Terra-type Rock on the Hydreigon to deal specifically with the low kicks. I'm going to mispronounce that the entire time. I wanted to just take it out, one-shot it. I knew it could do a lot of damage if I wasn't careful. If I thought about it and had wanted to take the risk, I could have put out Torkoal with Hydreigon and just Heat Waved. That might have KO'd, and in the future I'll probably run Calcs to see if it does. Just do like Heat Wave with Hydreigon and then protect the Torkoal. Kind of glad I didn't see the Tough Tusk. So I decided to save the Hatterene. I know Tough Tusk is part fighting, which is a little bit risky with the Terra Rock, but I figured he'd try to take out the King Gambit, which is a big threat. So I put out the Hatterene hoping to resist whatever might be coming in. First impression did way more than I thought. I didn't run any defensive EVs this week, though. Or I might have run like 8 special defense on the Hydreigon. So I shouldn't have been too surprised by that. But we did get the one-shot on the low kick, so we didn't have to worry about things like U-turn for the rest of the battle, which was really nice. Stealth Rock, this was not intentional. Magic Bounce was really nice, though. I think that's the second time I've gotten Magic Bounce Reflection on Stealth Rocks or Spikes or something like that this year. Really nice when it happens. It's something I got to keep in mind. And now I don't have to worry about sashes on his side of the field for the rest of the game. I didn't really think anything was going to have a sash. I figured Indeedee was probably bulky enough that I wasn't going to be taking out in one shot anyway. Slowbro, I was expecting an offensive set. Skeledirge, again, very bulky. And the last one would be Goldengo, which I figured wouldn't have a sash. I figured, again, that was going to be an offensive set as well. So here's the Skeledirge. I'm a little worried about it, because I know it can be very bulky, and if it starts getting Torch Songs up, I'm in trouble. Trying to decide what I want to do to deal with it. Yeah, I figured with Hydreigon probably going down this turn, Trick Room is going to really help the rest of my team. That was unfortunate. I was hoping that it would take it out. That would have been a huge deal this game. Funnily enough, it KOs itself on Life Orb, which I don't think is a good thing. I think I would rather it absorb an attack. At this point, I thought Headlong Rush was a Rock-type move. Some of my decision-making and switches going into this is assuming it's Rock-type. I looked it up after the game. It's not Rock-type. And I've lost Hydreigon and Hatterene, who didn't get up a Trick Room, and I'm a little worried. Yeah, I'm worried at this point. Rabsca might be able to do stuff. Bug Buzz does a decent amount of damage, but ideally I want to get the Revival Blessing up along with the Trick Room on it. If it goes down without getting Trick Room up, I am in a lot of trouble this game. But I went for this. Just wanted to get Drought up. I know it powers up the Skeledirge, but it was already weak enough. I hoped it wouldn't be that much of an issue. And with the sun, I didn't think he'd have any sun changing, like weather changing effects. I figured his Indeedee would have Misty or Psychic terrain, but that doesn't affect weather. So do I try to one-shot the Tough Tusk, or do I just take care of the Skeledirge that's already pretty low? And to me, that was pretty obvious. And Torkoal did what it needed to. I didn't want it out without... without Trick Room up. So I just decided to go King Gambit. Again, still thinking that Headlong Rush was Rock type. Which was a mistake. But because I thought it was Rock type, that's why I didn't go into Rabska. I didn't want Rabska to go down to 1. So instead, King Gambit just gets one shot. And at this point, I know I fucked up. I think it's here I look. Alright, what the fuck is Headlong Rush? So I'm already down probably my biggest threat on the team. My special offensive Trick Room Sweeper, and one of my setters. I'm down to a Torkoal and 1 Trick Room setter. Which is an issue. So here comes the Indeedee. I think I've KO'd 2 of his Pokemon. Haven't done anything to deal with the Tough Tusk. And he's still got a lot of bulk behind him, and then that always scary Goldengo. The only thing I have to answer the Goldengo is the Torkoal, really. I have Flamethrower on Scovillain, but I don't expect it to last too long. Because even if it was still Rock, it'd still get hit pretty hard by the Headlong Rush. Rabska's out there to do 2 things. Trick Room and Revival Blessing. If it gets anything else, I would have been shocked this game. The amount of damage this did not fill me with confidence. And kind of like, okay. Indeedee's an issue. So we kind of just have Torkoal and Rabska left. He still has 4 of his Pokemon, I believe. I think I've only KO'd 2. Now I have to figure out, alright, do I bring Hatterene back, or do I bring back King Gambit with everything he has in the back? In the back, he still has Slowbro and a Goldengo. I also considered Hydreigon in case I couldn't get Trick Room up, but I figured the King Gambit having Sucker Punch and just Kowtow Cleave was going to do way more than a Hydreigon with Dark Pulse. The Sucker Punch kind of lets us get around the coming back with half hit points. Now we have this. This was a huge moment in the match. I figured he was going to try to eliminate Torkoal pretty much immediately. And the Helping Hand was a surprise, but the fact we got this Protect up was absolutely critical. Lets us get Trick Room up, and I'm feeling better. I'm still not sure how we're dealing with the Goldengo efficiently if Torkoal's not around. And Trick Room goes down, and the Slowbro, I'm unsure if it's set. I know he's run Belly Drum sets in the past, so I'm a little bit worried about that. And I also don't think he's Terra to this game, which is worrisome. So I've already expended my Terra on the Terra Rock Hydreigon to one-shot the low kicks. Maybe not the best idea, but I think we would have been one-shot in return. And trading Hydreigon and not getting anything back would not have been good. Here's the Slowbro. I'm sure he's expecting an Eruption. And it does nothing to them. But Bug Buzz picks up a KO, which is really nice. That's 1 threat down. He has another Psychic type out, so Bug Buzz might be able to take that out too. The leftovers on an already bulky Pokemon that does alright in Trick Room. Yeah. This thing's still an issue. I don't think I have an answer to that. I think my only answer to that is Scovillain and Hatterene. Decided to try to buy an extra turn. I know we're probably getting this Bug Buzz off because we have Focus Sash on the Rabsca and it hasn't been hit yet, which is kind of great. So now it's a slack off leftovers Slowbro that's just going to be aggravating. But we do see Bug Buzz takes more than half its health. And once again, we need to get another Protect Read on the Headlong Rush. So all in all, we net ourselves... what was that? 15% health on the Slowbro for that turn. But a turn of Trick Room goes down. Don't really have any great options with the Torkoal. He's in a little bit of a rough spot going up against a Slowbro. And whatever this is becoming. And the Tough Tusk. The Slowbro Terror was interesting. I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest. The water kind of screws me over. Because it's going to resist the Eruption even more, and Bug Buzz is no longer super effective. There's the Slack Off. We almost still got it with the Eruption. If Sun was still up, we would have. And here we go. It was only a matter of time before we got hit by that Headlong Rush. So now he has a very weakened Slowbro, a pretty full Tough Tusk, and he has an absolutely untouched Goldengo in the back. And we have a Rabsca and a half hit point King Gambit, who is incredibly buff right now. 4 allies down. It's pretty buff. I'm trying to figure out how do I take care of this Tough Tusk. And I'm figuring anything that hits neutrally, such as Iron Head, is probably going to KO with the Supreme Overlord buff. Maybe if it doesn't, I'll get a flinch. So I'm hoping for a double KO here. Rabsca taking out the Slowbro. Who's... as long as he does that, I'm okay. It means he's not putting any extra pressure on. And he's getting the leftovers healing a turn. And that's about it. So, the Iron Head does end up taking out the Tough Tusk. I'm sorry about the phone ding. I should have put it on silent. Let me do that real quick. And now we have the model, the Goldengo, who I'm figuring is offensive and wants to KO me. And so, it's time to see how much Sucker Punch does, and the answer is a lot. Without Sucker Punch, we would have been in a lot of trouble. But King Gambit and the Rabsca picked up, what was that, 2 KOs and did a lot of damage. He just couldn't get rid of it. So yeah, that was a really good game 1 all around. He had me up against a wall for a while, and I think the 2 protects on Headlong Rush on Torkoal really made the difference. But GG game 1. Thinking back on game 1, he did a really nice job shutting down Torkoal. Torkoal caught off a couple of eruptions, but they really didn't do that much. And so I figured I'd throw him a curveball and put out the Torkoal first and try to put on the pressure right away. I'm still worried about his team. That Tough Tusk was a very just Iron Tusk. I've been calling it Tough Tusk this entire time. I forget the name of it. Little Tusk dude. Anyway. That was what I was worried about this game. I did a decent job of shutting down the low kicks, whatever bug he has. And so I wanted to continue doing that. I actually helped him come up with a set for that Pokemon one of the previous weeks. So I kind of knew what it was capable of, just not the exact, and I knew I didn't want to fuck around with it. So the Goldengo first was interesting. Unfortunately for him, it gets pressured right away. I have a bigger issue, though. He either read or just went with the Big D, or Daddy D, lead, expecting for photosynthesis, which we were very kind and triggered for him with our sunlight. So now I'm in a bit of a pickle, because I imagine Torkoal is going to be the focus, and it comes down to a little bit of a rock paper scissors of, does he go into the Torkoal before it can get off Eruption, trying to KO the Goldengo, or do I go for Protect? Because he has to pick one way or another. I go for Hatterene. He covers his own bases. We get off a Heat Wave. I figured Heat Wave and Sun might be able to do enough to take out the Goldengo. It did a lot more than expected to Daddy D, though. That was a lot of damage. Unfortunately, close combat's still a thing. Losing Hydreigon super early on sucks. That was one of my answers to Goldengo, one of my answers to low kicks. And again, just his 2 psychic types, it could do a lot too. So here I decided to just put out Scovillain. We don't have Trick Room up yet. We can take advantage of Chlorophyll. We have Sun for Solar Beam and Flamethrower. And I figure Flamethrower will take out the Goldengo if it hits, and if it doesn't, we have the opportunity to just set up Trick Room, which the only thing I'm worried about him having in Trick Room is Slowbro, and it's not out yet. That switch took me completely by surprise. I was not expecting that. And so instead, he sends out an Indeedee that's just going to make me cry. Psychic Surge is interesting. I'm not really caring about the priority moves of it. The Psychic Seed boosting special defense, however, we kind of tickle it. Unfortunately, Hatterene gets one shot. I think again. I think last game it didn't really get anything out. It just magic bounced back some Stealth Rocks. So we've so far lost our Hydreigon, which covers a lot of his Pokemon, and we lost our Hatterene, which helps deal with the little elephant dude he has out. Rabska. We want to start bringing things back. We also still don't have Trick Room up. This was a little bit of a risky play, but with Focus Sash, I was hoping it would be enough. I wasn't too worried about Indeedee doing stuff, but I wanted to take care of Indeedee just because of the utility it provided. So the follow me wasn't unexpected. We were kind of figured that would happen. The Scovillain to stop a Headlong Rush I thought would be coming in. Bug Buzz, okay, it does about a third. Which is fine, but that's about... I was hoping it would do more. I was hoping to KO the Indeedee and give us more time. But Rabska needs to start doing the job we brought it along for. Which is Trick Room in this situation, then a Revival Blessing if we get lucky. Solar Beam, great. And I think... I actually don't remember. I watched this before recording. Okay, that just takes care of the Indeedee. I don't have to worry about Helping Hand. I don't have to worry about Follow Me. I don't have to worry about any of that shit. Rock Slide was an interesting thing. The avoidance was huge. And the fact we lived it as well. Those were both very big things. We get Citrus Berry off. I figured he was going to Headlong Rush to Scovillain. Now, Scovillain's in a bit of a weird situation. It's a Scovillain under Sun with Chlorophyll in Trick Room. That thing's not moving first. That thing's like so low on the priority list, it's not even moving next turn. It's going to be taken out. But we might as well try to fire something off. We do have the sun up for the Skeledirge, which means Rabska's probably in for a World of Hurt. But we still get the Revival Blessing off. So at this point, I got to figure out what I'm bringing back. It's either Hatterene to try to make sure I keep Trick Room up and a little bit of pressure, or the Hydreigon in case I'm unable to keep Trick Room up. It's kind of a 50-50. I trust in my ability to keep Trick Room up, and I think, in general, Hatterene's going to solve more issues for me anyway. That was an issue. A Torque Song... Torque Song. No, it's not Torkoal singing. We don't know. It's not over till the Fat Turtle sings. But Torch Song getting up provides a little bit of issue for me. I'm not sure what all he has on that Torkoal, and that scares me. But we take out the Elephant Dude. I want to call it Tough Tusk. Maybe that's Iron Tusk? Maybe it's Iron Tusk. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone Battlegrounds, so it's Tough Tusk. That is a big weight off my shoulders, and the fact that the Scovillain could still do something in Trick Room really made me happy. We have this issue, though. At this point, I forget Psychic Train's still down. So I go for a double Protect, expecting First Impression. Yeah, I was fully expecting a First Impression. I forgot about Psychic Train. I am not familiar with playing around with trains too much, despite bringing it 2 weeks ago, last week. We never ended up using it, so I didn't have to worry about it. But when he did their U-turn, I'm like, wait, why didn't he first just... Oh, right, I'm dumb. But we also see the Earth Power from the Skeledirge, which is nice. So we get a little more scouting. I feel like I have not scouted too much lately. I'm not keeping notes as well as I did at the beginning of the year. It's worked out okay, but I don't think I can get away with that for as long. I give this Flamethrower chance of getting off around the same chance of Abraham Lincoln winning another election for president. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm expecting to lose both my Pokemon this turn. Rabska might be able to get something off, but I don't think it KOs anything. I was wrong. Rabska still just puts in work. Rabska has like 3 or 4 KOs in the last game and a half, which is insane. Scovillain going down, I'm fine with. It lasted a turn and a half, 2 turns longer than expected. And now I get to actually put out a Trick Room user that I want. I go for Torkoal because we still haven't used our Terra yet this game, and we still have Terra, Ghost, Torkoal in the back, specifically to deal with the Skeledirge and a little bit to deal with the Goldengo. We're not really worried about the Goldengo coverage on Torkoal because it is Fire type. Like, we have Eruption, we have Heat Wave, it's fine. Slowbro was an interesting choice. Because I felt like Rabska could do quite a bit. I had to keep in mind the Terra Water he showed last game. But I wanted to protect as well, thinking he'd just try to finally take care of that Rabska. I figured there was a chance if Rabska could stick around long enough, it might actually get off a second Trick Room, which would... It's already lived and done way better than I ever expect from it each week. So here I Terra my Torkoal. The fact I go first shows I'm a slower Torkoal. Since we Terra first, it means we're normally faster, but in Trick Room, it means we're slower. Hopefully that makes sense. Unfortunately, he Terras the same turn. And does he Terra into water on his Slowbro? Nope. It's a Terra, Water, Skeledirge. My Ghost Terra Blast is about to do a hilariously little amount of damage. Get the Protect off, which no reason we wouldn't. And here we go, my big moment, one of my big tricks for this week. And it does 10%. Maybe. The Surf is an issue. Luckily, we're not Fire anymore. And this. Even though we're not fire, we still die, which is unfortunate. And the Terra Water Skeledirge is an issue. I don't have a way to deal with it. Like, I don't have any water coverage on my team. None. Put Hatterene back out. I got to get Trick Room up. So it's either going to be Rabska. Try to get Trick Room up. Which I didn't think it'd be able to one-shot Slowbro from full health. Especially since we saw it last game. Only do about half. Protect. Figured he tried to take out the Hatterene pretty quickly. We do go for the aggressive option of on the Rabska. It's also bulky, which is nice. And at this point, I'm seeing he has a lot of coverage moves. The Snarl wasn't something I was expecting. Surf wasn't something I was expecting. He had Rock Slide on the Tough Tusk as well. Not something I was expecting. And I forgot. I'd just seen it, but I forgot. We did go for the Trick Room on Rabska. So now it can actually do stuff. Fair, we'll just see how much the Dazzling Gleam does. The Calm Mind is an issue. We still have King Gambit in the back, which is fine. But if I can take care of one of these before Goldango comes out, it'll make King Gambit's life a lot easier. Sucker Punches and Cowtuck Leaves. Yeah. My big worry is this Skeledirge. Snarl picks up Rabska. Rabska, 2 Trick Rooms, a Revival Blessing, a KO, and other chip damage. You absorbed a lot with Protect. You a real one. That was outstanding this week. Like, this battle, this week in general, you really just did well. But now we're down to a weakened Hatterene and King Gambit. Luckily, we have Trick Room up. I think the only reason this works is because of Trick Room. I'm just trying to figure out what all do I want to do. The Poison Jab's on him because I was expecting Mimikyu. And it was also there for Lokix. Losic? The bug he has. Surf is fine. Sunlight's still up. If Sunlight wasn't up, those Surfs would be doing a lot more. The fact it doesn't KO Skeledirge is an issue, but that'll do it. And now comes the model. The Goldango. I'm not worried about Slowbro's offensive pressure. There's no Terra left. He's shown Surf. He is setting up Calm Minds, and Sunlight's not going to be up too much longer, but there's that. I am going to take care of it. At this point, I recognize my checkmate. Once I take out the Slowbro, I can just press Sucker Punch against the Goldango, and it's guaranteed win. I am Assault Vest King Gambit this week as well, so unless he has a Aura Sphere or something like that on Goldango, I'm not horribly worried. I thought this had a chance to KO. If it did half. Surf is fine. Hatterene finally goes down. Was interesting to know the Slowbro is slower than King Gambit. But there's that. I mean, this King Gambit's all powered up. It's got 5 allies dead. Thunderbolt, I was a little worried about this, like paralysis and stuff, but Assault Vest King Gambit didn't get paralyzed. It shows to be a Life Orb Goldango, and now it's... Now I can just hit Sucker Punch. So he's going to drag it out a little bit. He's going to protect. We're going to press Sucker Punch. Twisted Dimensions go back to normal, which would normally be an issue, but we have Sucker Punch. And he doesn't have the Psychic Terrain up anymore. He gets to double protect, just drawing this out a little bit more. You guys can figure out how the rest of this is going to go. I mean, there's no universe where I lose this. If I was paralyzed, maybe, but take him out. Really good games to Stube this week. They were great. I was really on the back foot for most of them. I just happened to bring him back, and King Gambit and Rabska were my absolute MVPs this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully see everyone next week for Week 7.